Tadi saya lihat sebenarnya ada Mas Dogo, tapi ternyata tidak bawa motor karena main saja hari ini. Dan mereka sudah masuk pada pedok mereka masing-masing dan kita akan persiapan pada kelas FIM Asia Supermoto. All rider FIM Asia Supermoto prepare. Warm up, FIM Asia Supermoto warm up. Warm up.
One, two.
No working.
Kita akan persiapan untuk FIM Asia Supermoto warm up. Son, simpan posisinya dulu. Operator posisinya simpan dulu.
Test, test.
That's better. Oh, I'm getting a bit of fold. That's a bit of reverb there.
Yeah, yeah, I've got it too.
Got a bit of echo.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Whoa, down a bit, down. Up a bit, up. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Bagus.
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 I think they're looking for pretty women in the crowd.
Send them this way.
We found some already.
Have you got a sheet on corners?
Yeah.
I just want to figure out all these.
His bio's like a school essay.
This is 24. 92, so he's 25. Oh, no, he's not 25. His birthday's at the end of the month, so he's 26. Zachariah is 29. Yeah.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the second round of the 2017 FIM's Asia Supermoto Championship here in Indonesia. We're at the Park Mall at Solo Baru in SUKOHARJO, right in central Java. You couldn't get much more in the middle of Java if you tried. I'm Mark Brax. I'll be joining commentary today with my new colleague in crime, Barry and Russell. So good to see you, Barry, and we've had a good day yesterday. Good day this morning, I suppose, as we warm up to the events. Well, we've got warm up, but from 1:30 this afternoon, it really kicks into gear when the opening ceremony starts for this round. And what a time it is we've had here since we've got to Indonesia. On screen at the moment, you can see there's the Park Mall layout, 13 corners over 800 metres, which produces a very tight, demanding and twisty circuit as the bikes now head out for their warm-up for the FIM Asia Supermoto class.
Yeah, like you say, Braxley, we've had a great welcome here in smack in the middle of central Java, Solo Baru, and this track, twisty, challenging. It's going to be very difficult for the riders to overtake each other, so we're going to see some very committed riding, and as they come out now to shake out some of the early morning nerves.
Yeah, just wake up a bit. I suppose waking up a bit. There's a couple of birthdays in proceedings at the moment, so there might have been a couple of celebrations overnight as well.
Well, they don't seem to have affected Takashi Sasaki, the 46-year-old, is he? 46-year-old Japanese rider. He was right up there yesterday. He qualified for the Super Chrono, and he ended up in. He'll start from 5th position on the grid in Moto 1 this afternoon.
Yeah, so we go through the grid at the moment. This has got no bit. Oh, I tell you what, Trikan nearly lost it there with a bit of cold tyres as he came out of that last turn onto the pit straight where the back kicked out on him and took him out of the seat. Trikan there on bike number 5, the 2015 champion, the inaugural champion of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship. And he was right on form yesterday as well, up there in 3rd position, which will be the outside of the front row of the grid.
That's right, Trikan ended up in 3rd place in the Super Chrono, and last night he was burning the midnight oil. He was up late, he was walking the track again, he was looking at the jumps and trying to figure out a new strategy. Him and his crew chief were working quite late. He's a very rapid lad, a very thoughtful lad, and a very quick, experienced rider.
But yeah, he should be right on the form. And the other one that's going to be on form too is a bit of a wild card there, Bazza, with Donny Tatata Pradita, the hero of the local lads, on bike number 3. He starts from 9th position on the grid, only elected to come into the race yesterday afternoon after doing a bit of the support category, and he thought the times were there. So he's cross-entered into the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship. And as you said yesterday, Baz, he's committed to do the rest of the series, which travels to India, China, Singapore and Malaysia before the end of the year. So as we see the defending champion at the top of the sheets at the moment at 52.4, Gabit Habibullah there in 1st position. Now,
yeah, that was pretty much the pace we were seeing yesterday.
Conspicuous by his absence is our man that took out the 2 race wins at the first round in Thailand at the beginning of September, and has dominated yesterday as well in qualifying. Lewis Cornish, he's did what he had to do yesterday, did a couple of laps, got it nailed in a short space of time, then relaxed and went back to his hotel and enjoyed the afternoon. And
again you see the same strategy from Lewis. He's not out on track at the moment, so he'll be going for a couple of late laps, I guess. Got a 20-minute session here. There's 16 minutes remaining. And we're seeing Gabit Habibullah at the top of the sheet, 52.4.
I'm just waiting to see if number 8, Lewis Cornish, actually comes out on track at the moment. There's only 17 that have made an appearance out of the 22 that will be on the grid this afternoon with the race to kick off at 2 o'clock, just about 10 past 2.
That's correct, and local hero, or rather Indonesian national hero, Donny Tata Pradita, he's put in a 153.5, which is...
Geez, I'll tell you what, Gabit is really pushing the front end of that bike, going through some of the hairpins. You saw the front end sort of tucking him on in there in a little bit of a slide.
And they're pushing now.
great venue that we've got in it. Trakan now gone to the top of the sheets at the moment. Yeah, Trakan just nudging out Gabit there from Malaysia in second spot. And Zakaria goes to the top of the sheets too now with a 51.6. So the eyes are well and truly open with these guys. And as we've said a few times over the course of the weekend, Zakaria is the dark horse this weekend, I think.
I think so. He was there or thereabouts in round 1 in Thailand. And he's been consistently near the top all weekend from the very first free practice. In fact, he's to a slight extent he's eclipsed the reigning champion Habibullah Gabir. He's currently in third, but you can see the regulars at the top there.
And Collins just came out on track then, looking at the timing screens. Bazza, he's down there, just out there on his first siding lap, so it won't be too long before he gets it up, worked it up, and pushes the throttle southwards. Now, this part, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's not really, it doesn't have any effect on group positions. It's more on just getting confidence, getting your eyes open on the Sunday morning and getting ready for the race and making sure that everything is rolling in the right direction. And Cornish now there out, still hasn't completed a lap at the moment.
Yeah, we're looking now at the young Indian rider, Rugbed Varghese. This is his first race, I think, outside of India. His first race in Supermoto. He's a junior motocross champion in India, and he's come here with a very slick team, supported by TVS Racing, who do a lot back home in India for motorcycle racing.
Well, looking at that with a 16-year-old and a 46-year-old, we've got a 30-year spread of ages in here, just showing the versatility of the riders and, well, the attraction of Supermoto events too. You don't have to be the fittest man in the world or the youngest man in the world, but getting out there and mixing it with the best.
Yeah, the skills and fitness are more important. You don't have the absolute speed that's sometimes difficult to cope with in road racing as you get older.
He's a nice young kid, that one, actually. And Naoto Takayama, he was 6th fastest yesterday in the Super Chrono, which decided the top 6 positions. And at the moment, he's up there in 4th position, so not too bad for him as well. As we get down to the last couple of minutes of this qualifying session.
Both these Japanese riders not too far at all behind the...
So it'll be interesting to see how many actually stay out on track, as looking to see where Lewis Cornish is at the moment. Up there into 5th position on his first flying lap with a 54. Fastest at the moment at 52.1.
Yeah, and Lewis Cornish is on track now. He just jumped to 5th place in his warm-up session. He's done a 52.7 on his first flying lap.
Just looking to see who was on the outside of the track then as they went over that jump. There's a rider just sitting there, stationary. I think it might have been one of the Japanese riders looking at the bib, but it's only a quick flash, so I wouldn't put my money on it. So as we go through the top at the moment, it's still Zakaria there, Trakan in 2nd, Gabit in 3rd, Takayama in 4th position, Cornish up to 5th, and then Perdita up to 6th position. So he's another one that we've got to keep our eye on, the national champion and hero from Indonesia, Perdita, who took, had a few races in the 250cc Grand Prix class, as well as Moto 2 a couple of years later. And it's his first real stint at an international Supermoto event of this calibre. And he's settled into it like the duck in water.
Yeah, in modern Indonesian motorcycle history, Doni Tatar is the big hero. And we're looking now at the Latvian Edgars Avushkins. He's of course up against the fact that he's got a Latvian cooling system in a tropical environment. He's been suffering a little bit with the heat. He told us last night he was hoping for a wet race for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he was almost praying for a wet race yesterday. Yellow flags coming out for an incident on track at the moment. And the people flocking to the barricades around here because this is right in the middle. It's in a car park, this Supermoto layout. And actually it's a very abrasive track. It's got paving block pavers for the car park, and this will be transferring back into a car park probably for Tuesday. But great to see them being able to take the sport to the people, and the people being able to come and have a look at it free of charge, of course.
Yeah, free of charge to come here and watch. Free of charge to stay at home on the sofa and watch it on live streaming. The quality.
Well, that's a good thing. We're taking it to the world with the live streaming. You can be anywhere in the world, and we know from talking to a few of the riders that we are being looked at all around the world. And we'll say hello to Latvia, hello to Russia, hello to the United Kingdom, hello to Indonesia, the Philippines. I'm sure there's a few watching in the United States because Lewis Cornish was over there with the AMA Championships this year.
That's right. And of course we've got China, we've got India, we've got Indonesia, 3 of the 4 most heavily populated countries on the planet, all represented here today. Now we're looking, see who's a little bit further down the timesheets. We've got number 33, the local Indonesian rider, Ivan Harry. He's showing there in 7th position, just behind Donny Tata, and another Indonesian behind him, Farhan Hendro. 8th fastest in this warm-up session.
So we're halfway through this warm-up session, about 9 minutes to go. And at the moment it's still Zakaria from Trekor Pengtong, Muhammad Habibullah, or affectionately known as Gabit. Then it's Takashi Sasaki. He's in a, he could be another one that surprises today too, Baza. Lewis Cornish. Tata Pradita, and Lewis Cornish has been pretty dominant in the sessions, but it's only going to take one knock, as you'll be looking at him on screen at the moment, buttoning off on bike number 8. And it'll only take one bump because these guys are going to, the Indonesians on the 3rd row of the grid in 7th, 8th and 9th position respectively, with Faradila Adam, Farhan Hendro and Pradata. They're going to be on a mission.
No, they will be on a mission, and that the 3rd row that they're occupying will effectively become a 2nd row start for them with a crowd behind them. That's going to give them a 2nd or a 2nd and a half of lap. 2nd
row start, but on the inside, which I think could be advantageous to get there and get into the whole shot.
Absolutely.
So Lewis Cornish on track now to go fastest, which he has in that previous lap at 51.3, which is about 5/10 of a second outside his best qualifying time from yesterday afternoon. Setting conditions that were slightly cooler than what they are now as the temperature builds here right in the middle of Java at the province of SUKOHARJO.
With Lewis starting from pole position, the other riders on the 1st and 2nd rows in particular, as well as the Indonesians on the 3rd row, are going to be coming up with a plan to try and stop him getting away and into that turn 1 in 1st position. Lewis, of course, knows that. He generally makes very fast starts.
Well, he was telling us about his secrets of getting to a good start, and I think he's
going
to. He better make sure that it's on song to do it this afternoon, because he's got 21 other riders that'll be trying to shuffle him out of the way.
The Husqvarna's got a very effective launch control system.
And they'll know what they've got to do, because if Cornish gets in the lead, they'll know that they'll have not a real good chance of trying to track him down. But if he gets there and they're going to shuffle him around, we'll see him. Well, Gabit's not wearing the number 1 plate for nothing, is he?
Absolutely right. He's got something to show. He was 4th in round 1 after a few problems he had there, including a 30-second penalty. And Trakan, of course. The start of the season, everybody thought it was going to be Trakan and Gabit battling it out. But Lewis has jumped straight in front of them in the 1st round, and so far in this 2nd round at the Park Mall in Solo Baru, SUKOHARJO.
Now, interestingly too, Barry, that Gabit is 4th fastest, which reflects his position from yesterday's qualifying session, but he's actually improved his time by about 8/10 of a second, so he's jumped into the 51s for the first time this weekend.
Yeah,
so obviously those changes he was making that we saw in the pits afterwards, when they were fiddling around with the rear suspension of his bike's obviously working, because it's able to hook up a bit better and get the jump out of these corners, which is vitally important to get that lower end of the torque curve working, that you can get out and get the power down and accelerate, because they're not really even getting out of 3rd gear, so it's all important to have the gearing right. And look at Cornish, you think he's not trying to work it out at the moment, he's sliding everywhere.
Yeah, he's really pushing it. He's running the whole track in 2nd gear.
I'd say he must have had a nice relaxing night, put the feet up and just check things out and get ready for the day. He's feeling quite confident, I'd say, Lewis Cornish, the championship leader at the moment.
Yeah, I think what he's doing now is no more than checking that everything's still working, maybe betting in some new brake pads or whatever. And he's expecting himself to do well again this afternoon.
He looks like he's on another hot lap as he comes into the penultimate corner. We might call that bold experience corner there. Plenty of signings there for our event sponsor this weekend. The local company that's getting behind the Asian Supermoto Championship. Great to see this list of sponsors and supporters and partners of the Asia Supersport Group get enlarging as each round goes on. And I believe after the live streaming yesterday, there's a lot more interested in taking a part in this FIM Asia Supermoto Championship.
Yeah, since we've been here, Braxy, we've got inquiries from sponsors. We've got just through my Facebook inbox. We've got riders asking how they can join the championship. We've got sponsors interested. And this championship really coming up to a higher level now.
And Lewis Cornish putting in his fastest lap of the weekend as well, albeit by about a few tenths of a second. No, he actually just missed out by a couple of hundredths of a second of bettering his time, but that doesn't matter because it's got no bearing whatsoever at this bold experience FIM Asia Supermoto Championship, round number 2 at Solo Baru, right in the middle of town, right in the middle of a car park, right behind a shopping centre. So if you come down with your mum, dad and the kids, Dad can go watch motorbike racing and Mum can go and do some shopping. So I think that'll keep the entire family very happy.
Absolutely, and there's been crowds of people here since 6 o'clock this morning when I was woken up by an aerobics class.
You went down and did your aerobic stretches as well, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did, yeah. Actually, there was more than 100 ladies exercising to a very noisy beat. So I just got up and walked around, and there was a Sunday market absolutely packed with people. There was some kids doing riding pocket dirt bikes in a field, which of course is where it all starts. A really nice atmosphere, so couldn't sleep with the aerobics going on, so I thought I might as well go and have a look around. It was good fun.
So it just got on 3 minutes ago, this 20-minute warm-up session. So at the moment, it's our pole setter Lewis Cornish on his Kenny Motorsports machine in first place. A bit, 0.9 of a second in front of Zachariah, which is, really stamping his authority and letting everybody know that Cornish means business. Trikan there in third spot, Gabit in fourth, Sasaki and Pradita there in sixth. That'll be a good little boost of confidence for Pradita to know that he's can get up there and all-important start. He's got to get the jump off the line when the race starts this afternoon at about 10 minutes past 2.
Yeah, he's made some progress. I see also Trikan shaved about 0.4 of a second off his best lap time from yesterday. So the thought and the planning that he was doing last night has given him another 0.4 in the warm-up today. So that bodes well for him. And as you were saying, Gabit, Mohamed Habibullah, he's improved too.
So with just under 2 minutes to go, it looks like all the boys have had enough. They're slowing it right down and heading back to the pits to lubricate themselves, get the hydration going again, get some more electrolytes in the body. And they'll become, before they do that, as you can see, they're grabbing the front end to push the forks down and click them down so they can, there's a little switch that they can lock it down so it doesn't actually loop the bike on takeoff as we look at Lewis Cornish with his practice start. And you can hear the rev limiter coming in as the traction control takes over on the bike.
That's right. They're going to struggle to get in front of Lewis off the line. I haven't seen him made a bad start yet this season.
And so Cornish and Gabit have both done their practice starts. So they'll head back to the pits. And Trikan there as well.
Yeah, as Lewis was saying, he was struggling with front suspension in free practice on Friday. And then he shook off all the negative vibes on Saturday, and he was saying in the early morning, I haven't come a long way to moan and complain or about that. The bike's okay now. I'm just going to get on with it, and there he goes.
So even if there's 40 seconds left, it looks like the lads have said that's enough. We'll go back to the pits and regroup, have a chat with the crew. in case any things have to be changed on the bike, or they're quite happy and just leave it as it is. I'm going to race it as it is, because you'll never get a perfect setup around a car park that is paved with bricks, because they're very undulating, similar to what a motocross track is, as Lewis Cornish said. But when he said that to me, I thought, well, it'll be like a road racing track, because they've got braking bumps and dips and everything over the undulations of the track that you don't really see until you start getting out there and feeling the bike moving and working underneath you as a checkered flag comes out. To end the warm-up session for this round number 2 of the Bold Experience FIM Asia Supermoto Championship here at the Park Mall in Solo Baru.
So everybody pretty much on good form, following through from yesterday. We got Lewis Cornish, still the only rider who's dipped under into the 150s. Then Kyrie Zakaria, second position on a 151.6, so that's 0.9 of a second back on Lewis. Trakan Tang Tong, he's found another 4/10. He's on a 51.679, so just a few thousandths apart there. And Gabit Habibullah, yeah, we're just looking now between Zakaria and Habibullah.
Sasaki, there was only about 0.3 of a second between those 4 riders, so that's a good sign. I think it was, just looking at the leaderboard again.
Yeah, that bodes very well for a close battle. Just in case Lewis Cornish does indeed get away, and he's maintaining a pretty healthy advantage with his lap times.
And Pradita, even though he moved up, he cut a couple of tenths off his time, but he won't be happy with that, because there was a fair gap of 1.3 seconds from his closest competitor there, Sasaki, in 5th position. So he'll be aiming to try and close that down a little bit.
Yeah, he will. The crowd will be willing and expecting good performances today from the Indonesian riders, who, apart from Donny Tata, include Faradil Adam, Farhan Hendro, who's a regular in this competition, Pedro Wuna, another regular in this competition. And we're just looking up at the sky now. There's a few clouds around.
It doesn't look like the rain is going to have any effect on this meeting, hopefully. And so I presume that our man from Latvia won't be too keen. So we'll be back very soon with all the action from the second round of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championships here at Solo Baru, right in the car park. And stay tuned for the opening ceremony that commences at 1:30. So we'll be back a few minutes before then. So on behalf of everybody, stay tuned and get ready for some intense action of these 2 races for the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship. Both races 20 minutes plus 2 laps. So until then, we'll say cheerio and see you back very soon.
bagian logistik pengairan untuk mengirim air ke Haiti Resort.
How's that at the moment? That's still...
Yeah, that's the same now as it was
Yeah.
during the warm-up.
Selamat siang untuk kepada semua. Kita ada di persiapan Moto 1. Beberapa menit ke depan kita akan tunggu informasi dari.
Yeah, still. Oh, that's better. Let's take it out of the ambience.
That's getting better.
Yeah.
If you take the ambience down, yeah.
Okay, that's good. And please, the graphics listening, my name's still spelled wrong. They gave me the L, but they took an S away.